Hey guys, how are you today? So, when it comes to social media and covering certain topics, because my platform, I try to just educate in the little way I know how to on certain topics. And when I am not very familiar with a particular topic, I try to stay away from it to allow details come in. Because in life, there's your truth, my truth, and the real truth of any situation. Now, I cannot lie. I am one of those people who wasn't aware of all the things Mr. Harrison has done in the past. So I didn't want to be biased in my analysis because I would have judged on what is based on ground. And I have had friends who we have had this discussion several times on the situation, and a lot of people are very sympathetic towards him because they have observed his work over time. So I understand where that's not loyalty, but where that need comes from to support and defend a man. Now, I personally, I base situations on facts, and here's my fact. Now, anyone who is planning into going to social media and becoming this Captain Save a Hole kind of person, you have to be very aware that you have to come 110% correct when it comes to dealing with the public and public emotions. If you want to state that you're a person of integrity and value, you have to stay on that lane 100%. Because one thing I know about social media is when the tables turn, half the time, in fact 90% of the time, they are going to flip against you. So you have to be cautious of this. Now, if you just want to be a jagaband of the internet, not a problem. People love to laugh. They will take any content regardless. In fact, the more dramatic it is, the better. But when we are speaking about integrity, your word is your life. That means under any normal circumstances, when you do go against that and you jeopardize people's lives and safety and funds, you have to be liable for those situations. Now, let's bring Verydarkman into this. The one thing I have observed with him is, yes, he does have a very strong personality. He comes out very tough. Sometimes some might call it egotistical. And yes, not everything he posts might be relatable to you. Not everything he posts you might agree on, and that is completely fine. Everybody has the right to their personal opinion. But there is one thing we are going to not discredit is the fact that every time he does come out and attack a specific person, he always has backup information, things that are just waiting, sitting, and marinating for them to be, pushed out there. And if you even notice, even with Verydarkman, every time people are not comfortable with his own opinions on certain topics, they almost crash out, like they almost want to ban him off the situation. That is why it is very important for your credibility to stay strong. And that is why, for some reason, he has always come back up on top, because he always has facts to back up whatever claim he's after. Now, my only personal advice towards someone like Verydarkman, he already knows what he's doing. He's good with that. My only thing is, he recently made a statement saying he's like a god on earth. Now, if you look in the history of man from Pharaoh all the way down, of people who made statements like that, it never went in their favor in the long run. God has blessed you with the ability to help people on a larger scale, does not give any human, whether it's you or me or anyone else, the right to declare themselves as a mini god or a god or godlike. We are humans who are trying to do the best we can to educate the public. Now, I also say, a lot of times when I make videos, a lot of people say, oh, they agree with me 100%. They don't even have to listen to the what I say because they just agree. No, everybody has the right to have an opinion. Your opinion might not be like mine. And yes, even if you do agree, doesn't mean you should take everything I say 100% and ride with it, because half the time, it might not work for you. Don't love anyone on the internet that much that you are biased when something goes wrong. Have an educated intellectual discussion with me, not bashing, not disrespectfully, because I will block your motherfucking ass. Let's be clear about that. But have a conversation with me. I am not above correction. I like correction. Somebody recently corrected me on a statement I made. My English wasn't correct. And I was so happy, because guess what? Now I know for the future. Now, when it comes to Mr. Harrison, let's go back to him, because, see, this is not just, and this is why I haven't spoken about this, because it's deeper than just what he did. This is people believing in saviors. People need to understand that each and every one of us has to play a part in the betterment of our country. Do you understand? It cannot be only Verydarkman or a certain few other people speaking about topics that affects every single one of us. So a lot of people put a lot of faith in these people, especially Mr. Harrison, because he came out with this whole persona of him saving the nation. And yes, a lot of people have told me, leave this topic alone because, he's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. But I personally have a different opinion about it. The second you put a man's life in danger, your credibility goes completely out the door. And at this point, we're too busy doing damage control. See, Mr. Harrison has been doing his cases for years, even if let me use the word allegedly, so there's no miscommunication. At this point, when analyzing every single information put out there, I feel like all of it has been fake from the beginning. He created a niche that the public was so desperately trying to absorb. He trying to save people and all that. And again, like I say, I might be wrong, but this is my personal opinion. He created something Nigerians were so desperately to hang on to. He saved people. People love saviors. And this is exactly why a lot of people drive themselves towards churches, because they need to have someone above them. They need to have someone educating them on different matters. So they levitated towards Mr. Harris. Now, because of the credibility that he has tried to put on the internet, a lot of people feared coming out and discussing matters of great value as him duping them of their personal funds and all that. When you decide to be a captain save-a-hole, you need to come correct 110%. There is no, if I trust you with my business and I say, Mr. Harrison, please solve this problem for me, you have under no rights to push that project onto another individual, because half the time people will not put the same energy and value into your work. So it is if you cannot handle a situation, leave them alone. Say, sorry, at the moment I can't handle it due to I'm overcrowded or whatever the case might be, but you took it on. Now, my problem with you is a family trusted you with their lives and say, listen, we're going to give you the ransom money of, I think it was 20 million. Please go release this family, the wife and the husband. Now, at the beginning, why I did not comment on this subject is because it was said that you wanted to put trackers into the money. So magically, 5.4 million naira just vanished out of there. That is you putting people's lives in jeopardy. And I would never. See, everything we do in life has to be properly calculated. If you're not sure of the outcome of what's going to happen in a situation, you should never, under any circumstances, put a human life in jeopardy. And yes, after that, you were arrested. And yes, VDM came out and spoke about the issue. And yes, Nigerians almost turned against VDM because they trusted your word. And now, in the sense of doing damage control, instead of you to say, you know what, I take this full responsibility of a situation which was created by me and my people, you choose to actually worry more about your credibility and your image. And in my eyes, you have failed completely. The respect can never be there under any circumstance. You now, thanks to your actions, now instead of 5.4 million naira, it has been increased to 50 million naira, which you're pushing innocent people after the hard work, blood and sweat they did to create their foundation. They are now forced to sell their properties, all in the name to fix a mistake you created that should have never existed in the first place. And you're more worried about your name, your credibility. Let's be clear. Your credibility is down the drain right now. Let's not even fake it. Now, when you look into this situation, this is why I personally believe it, allegedly, in my opinion, I believe that all this from day one has always been a scam. You solve 10 cases, you let 2 go for yourself. And this is why we are here. You do not pick and choose the situations you solve for the public and you film and everything. And yes, I don't know if it's Verydarkman or somebody who said, you never came with your face cover. These kidnappers are not that stupid to not know what is going on. And this is also where I blame the Nigerian system, because on a normal day, when a situation like this happens, you're supposed to go to the police, but we do not even trust the police to do their duties. And out of that ransom, half the time, they would even take something out of it. Like, who are you serving? Police and all these are supposed to be paid by the government, but I guess it is the system we live in. We have to become our own saviors. Each and every one of us has to come out and become our own saviors, because we are killing ourselves in the long run if we feel like we are safe. No one is safe. Mr. Harrison, a lot of people are on your side saying, oh, leave him alone. You don't want him to commit suicide and everything. See, at this point, instead of you trying to do damage control, just lay low. Leave it alone right now. Let it pass. It will never be gone, because you have messed up royally. And I'm sorry, there has to be consequences to every action. And this is a learning curve for every